Welcome to Know Your Flow, the podcast from Femme, where we help you understand your body, embrace your cycle, and feel empowered through every phase of womanhood. Let's get flowing. Hello and welcome back to Know Your Flow by Femme. I'm Steph, one of the founders, and we're actually wrapping up season 3, so I'm joined by all 3 founders, Laura, Sarah and myself.
Hi.
I feel like it's been 2 minutes and it's literally been a year since we wrapped up season 2.
This year has been insane.
I think fastest year of my entire existence.
Yeah, and I think like a really challenging year though, personally and professionally.
Personally, a lot of people.
Yeah.
Haven't we seen so much personal life overlap this year at work? Like,
Yes.
There's so many things going on. I don't know if that's just us or that's a wider thing that's going on.
I do think it's a wider thing, weirdly. There's something about this year, but I think it's such a difficult thing as a smaller business to make sure that you're supporting people through those circumstances, but still hitting all the criteria for the growth of your business. It is a challenging dynamic.
But I think we have done that.
I'd like to think we have.
Very successful for Femme this year.
Very successful for Femme, and you know, I get married next Saturday, so I'm hoping we can all celebrate together. The incredible year. Hangover alert. The incredible year that we really have had. And I say year, but I think quarter 1 and 2 was still really challenging. I think from July when we did the rebrand, Sarah, I just saw a huge change since then in the business.
What do you think? What do you think happened then that meant that we all just went and it clicked?
If I'm honest with you, we've worked on Femme on and offline for 3 years now. Yeah. And I think any business founder will maybe agree you fall in love and out of love many a times. And I think we've done a few rebrands, but I think that rebrand really lit a fire in a lot of us, and I think it was crunch time really. Not that we were obviously ever going to fold the business, but it was like, come on, we've got something here.
We need to see more traction from the work that we're putting in.
Do you think it's ownership from the team as well?
Yeah.
Yes, the team. I say the team because it was just us 3 for so long. I mean, when we look back, this time last year, it was me in an office on my own, and then you guys just supporting whenever you can, and that was it. We literally didn't have a team till January. So when we look at what we've achieved in 10 months, I'm just absolutely over the moon.
We've resourced it in the right way.
Yeah.
And I think we've learned how to collaborate properly and give each other the space to help take it in the right direction. Because I think if you look at what we're doing now, I can see bits of everybody's influence in it. And I think that's really novel, actually. I don't think that happens that often. And I think it's just a learning curve. And I think it is hard because I know I have very strong opinions on stuff.
Don't we all?
And I think we are all of us have strong opinions. We all like to input, but I think it's creating that space for one another to make sure that there's enough influence from each perspective. And that's what it was always supposed to be about. Because we all 3 here have very different perspectives, and so does the team now that support them.
And I think what I have done, and I never thought I'd say this, but do less, as in not me personally, for the business, because I feel like we did everything. We tried everything at once, and I think one thing we've really learned is let's do 3 things and let's do them really well and let's analyse them, let's use the data to do the next thing, and it's worked. And I couldn't be prouder as we head into Christmas, and also the incredible feedback that we've had from customers yet again. Our subscription service, we just sent a free gift out to somebody on Friday because they've been with us 9 months. 9 months. The customer stays with us that long. It just shows that they trust us, which is all we've ever really wanted.
I also think we've been super brave on the products as well. So I think we made a really strong decision, and some of this I think comes from having Una Health behind us as well. And what we've learned at Una Health is that we were strong enough to say this model we have here isn't working, we need a different model, and to really be focused on a small set of products and to get the right products to the mix, and then to continue building on that with the right products was quite a brave step for us. We could have tried to stick with what we were doing, but we thought this isn't working, and we just went for it.
exactly.
Which I think has worked. So you can see that with how well we're doing temp job to see that that's working.
Yeah, really is.
Good.
Yeah.
So let's discuss personal wins. Who wants to discuss their personal wins as founders, like, for the year?
I'll go first. I think mine's just like confidence. I think I would say this is just me personally. I've been on a bit of a journey with that the last sort of 12, 18 months, and I think like obviously it's culminated this year on Femme and a lot of different things, but like speaker panels and going on podcasts and just generally being more confident in front of the mic and with my opinions and things, like to just share those and have confidence in myself. So I think that's been a big win, and I think that is the sort of thing also that softly attracts products and business and partnerships, because you're speaking with confidence and people always listen to you when you speak with confidence. Like even sometimes when you're like, do I know what the answer to this question is? But I think that confidence to me has been a big win this year.
I think you've done amazing, like on doing your page. I mean, we all set our pages up at the same time. Yours is flying, and getting invited to things as well. I remember when, like, this year when I got invited to a podcast, I think it was in March, like as a guest, you're like, what, me? You want me
crazy
on the podcast? Yeah. It's amazing. Well, I'll go second then. I think for me, in my career, many a times I've managed people, but with Femme, I felt like I've dipped in and out.
Yeah.
And then right now, I feel like my win this year really is the sort of managing the team, because
absolutely.
It is not easy, like setting up a business and like especially in the first 2-3 years, and to be able to do it with a team that want to be here and that like they're not founders and they don't, you know, they weren't there from the beginning. I mean, Bex has only been here since January. Charles only came like at the end of Q1. And Maisie's sort of still only here 2 days. So like to have them love the brand and the business and care so much as I do, I just think, I'm going to take that win, because I've obviously led it and formed it, and we've created something that really works.
Yeah, I think you having ownership over that's been a big shift as well. I do wonder if that goes back to what we were saying about the shift in July, and that sort of in a different way, Sarah and I stepped back and said, this is your baby, this is yours, you need to run it. And I think that's been, because we've obviously got other priorities and different things going on in the main business, so I think that's also seen a lot of success, because it's allowed you just to be focused on what you're trying to do. And we're not that we're like always coming in and kind of disrupting that, but I think it's difficult when you've got 3 different people. And I think for them and for the team, it's been more clear.
It has,
in terms of direction.
And it has been amazing to see them flourish as well. I think, you know, I've been doing a lot about what makes a great leader and what that kind of looks like, and it's like putting that trust in someone, you know, removing the sort of hierarchy and making that collaborative approach to everything that we do. And I will always start to say, like, if I say something they used to agree in and I push back now, so in the planning meeting last week, if I said something they'd all go and I'd say, I don't want to hear yes, do you actually agree? And then that would change the wave and the curve, and then we'd go on to something else, and then I'd say at the end, like, look what blossomed, like, you could have all said yes from that, and now look where we've ended. So
it's important to get that space where people feel they can feedback. That's really important.
How about you, Sarah?
It's a tough one for me. I don't think, if I'm being honest, I've had a lot of personal growth this year in terms of my professional capacity. I think my role, I dip in and out of a lot of stuff, and I think it's funny actually, reflecting from just coming back from a week off, I think I've really sat and thought about it in the lovely fresh air in the Cotswolds.
Beautiful.
And I just thought to myself, I need to find my purpose again in my role, like what's important to me, because I think, like you were saying, the people development, I get a lot of enjoyment out of that. I love helping people succeed in the role and develop skills and think about things in a different way. But I think often my role now pulls me away from that. So I don't think I've actually got a top line success, to be honest. But I think if I'm going to take anything away, it's that realisation that I need to make sure that I do find something purposeful for myself, rather than just meet the needs of the business and everything else around it. So maybe by the end of the year I might have figured that out.
I'll make a prediction that it's going to be your year next year.
Do you think?
Your year for the growth and the
it. And I think the groundwork's in place for that, actually.
I agree.
On my side of the business, there's been quite a lot of movement with new people and getting people comfortable in some functions in the role, and everyone's doing such a good job of working so hard towards that. So I think, we're really set up for success next year with everything that's aligned.
I think there's actually a conversation to be had around exactly what you've just said, especially as women in business, around the constant need to achieve more. I think that you are the head right at the top of this business. You helped found Femme, and you're now thinking that you haven't really done anything, and it's actually everything that you've done throughout all the years led to this place. And I think I've massively felt it this year, because outside of work, because I've been so busy planning the wedding for literally a full year, and feeling guilty, and then I keep saying to myself, when I get on that beach I'll take a notebook and I'll start planning what I want to do, and I'm like, no,
just enjoy it.
No,
we need him beeping rums.
So I'm not going to even do that, because I think we always want to achieve more, and I think sometimes it's watch the fruits that you've planted.
Enjoy what you've achieved, we were saying. It's turning into a really successful year, and it kind of fills me full of dread, because I'm like, what's going to go wrong? And I think it's so hard to enjoy your success. So I think there's a few points there, isn't there? I think for me, that purpose and the personal perspective is important, in the sense of you can get lost in a job and a role and the functionality of it. And I think that's part of that wanting to strive and achieve more. You're kind of just that driven person that wants that. So I think it's the balance between, isn't it? It's using that time on the beach to actually sit back, relax, and be with your husband. But then also not kind of diminishing that part of you that's got that hunger, because I think that's part of who you are.
I think it's the balance between being the kind of person that wants to develop themselves, but then doing it in a way that feels supportive and kind to yourself. That is something, so it doesn't become a negative cycle, because I do think, I take absolutely what you're saying, Steph, but I think when you get to the top, then there's very little other motivation. So I think what I found is that there's nowhere for me to step up to, but what I can do is continue to develop myself and what I'm capable of, my skill sets, and prepare myself for whatever it is the future's going to hold in different ways, and how to build my network and stuff. So I think that's the way I've looked at it. It's not necessarily about not saying we've done a great job with this, obviously we have, but it's about I love that as a person, I want to continue that, but I just want to do it in a way that doesn't feel like pressure.
Well, and I think we've both had, we've all had very different journeys. So obviously, you set up your own thing during the COVID years, didn't you? And I think that gave you an exposure that we've maybe never had. So whilst you were doing that, we were in the Una days in the middle of the pandemic and busier than we've ever been. So I think sometimes I'm still feeling the effects of all of that, because we've grown so much as a company.
So quick.
It's so hard to catch up. So prioritising what I need out of my role, my career, it's just never the forefront. It's always everything else.
All you can do is surf the wave, though. There's nothing you can do about it, and that's the nature of being a distributor. I think people have to learn when they come in somewhere like Una, you've just got to go with it. Because we can't control so much, because who knows what's going to come in front of it, so you have to take the opportunities.
It's such a unique
don't get
model.
bogged down.
Do you know what? That's really food for thought. Instead of trying to create something, is developing yourself, because I come into work and it's most of the time reactive of what needs sort of doing, and it's just thinking a little bit more out of the box. Definitely want to do that with my LinkedIn and my network as well, because my role has always been in hospitality, so it was always around people and contacts and who you knew. And
it's the same, I think, for everything. I think what I've been working with the coaches, and I think she said that to me, you don't know what's going to happen next, and that's difficult, but all you can do is think, how can I prepare myself? How can I? And the best way you can do that is have really great contacts, network, and have all these other soft skills that you can do something with. So if you, for example, build up your speaking skills, then you can make money out of that. If you have all the right contacts and you've got all this experience, then you can do maybe a consultancy or something. So I think it's rather than trying to control the future and you don't know how that's going to play out, it's how can I put a bit of time and effort into myself to think that when that time comes, I'm ready for whatever it is.
It's really professional self-care, isn't it? And it gets into everything that you feel about yourself, you saying your confidence and things like that. You shouldn't underestimate the importance of it, and carving out the time for it is probably the harder thing to do, but it's something I probably am going to be more determined to do when I've got over the hurdle of year-end functionality for the business.
And like motivation as well, so like that keeps me motivated as well. If I'm doing all these new things and I'm trying all this, that's what keeps me getting up in the morning. And I think it's easy to forget when you're like in the grind that like everybody needs something exciting and new, like to sort of there to sort of think about. And I think that's the key thing I found this year. Like that's really like changed my focus and made me like okay with kind of just like letting everything be, because I've got all these other exciting things. So
I think especially when you've been in a role at the same place for so long, you know, and more people, like that sort of philosophy of staying at the same place for 20 years seems to have really died a death now. And you'll get, you know, some of the biggest players in the industry saying try more things, you know, in this 2-year employment, and then people switching seems to be becoming a thing. But for those, you know, like us that like security and have families and stuff, it's not always an option.
And I think it's the time that you've invested. So like, you know, I'm 10 years Feb, you're, what are you, 12 years. So it's a long time for you to personally commit to a company, and that company's made that commitment to you. And to be, I mean, at the start of Una compared to where we are now, you know, and Femme is a new branch of that. You know, I just think there is an emotional investment, 100%.
Definitely.
And I think, you know, it's not that easy to walk away from. But I don't think there's that many scenarios like that anymore. Like you're saying, there's a lot more turnover. People aren't willing to commit because I think
I get that.
People do want more that self-employed element or that freedom. And it's an interesting landscape to navigate.
I also think things take a long time to come to fruition as well. Like, I would say that a lot of what we're feeling the benefit of now, we've been working on for 5 years. So maybe in the role that we're doing and what we're trying to do, it is different. But I think you have to wait for those things to pay off. Like, it's not going to happen overnight. So that creates that sort of sense of I want to stick with it. But then you've got to be able to overcome that being a bit mundane. And like be able to find like your sort of benefits from it. And also being able to sell those as good things to the business. So like I think initially it's difficult for us to be like, oh well actually we're only here to do the speaker panel. But now I think everyone's on board with the impact that has for the wider business on kind of a soft PR front. And I think leadership often get bogged down, or at least at Una anyway, in like the nitty gritty, but actually sometimes you have to do the more kind of core strategic stuff and conversations level. Because then you're available, you're in the room for some of the things. And that's how I think in the last 3 or 4 months we've had all these opportunities come, is because we've been in the right place at the right time.
And it's an adaptation, and I think you've got to really stick to the principles together as a team and commit to trying to work that way, but not berate yourselves where, okay, we've slipped back into old habits here, we've done this the wrong way round. And I think that's a core thing on Femme, to be honest. Like that growth has very much been like that. We've trialled and tested a lot and learned from our mistakes.
I think that's your next thing, like definitely step into like next year. It's like going out there and having more conversations and being more present in different spaces to get like new products in the mix, to get like, and to meet new people that can be beneficial to Femme. So it is a big step, and you have to, but you've got to do the work you've done this year on the team. You've got to get the team where you need them.
I feel now I actually feel like have this break now and come back, and then I actually feel like I can go. I think we needed to get the foundations right, and we've massively done that, and I trust them, and I'm empowered by them. Like Charlotte especially, like has stepped hugely out of the comfort zone. Like only last week, sitting on a panel in Dublin, she's never even flown on her own ever. And I didn't even know, and I was like, bye. Didn't even know, and she didn't say till after.
But what an achievement for her as well, personally. So I just caught up with her before, and I was like,
it's
you
amazing.
Should be so proud of like, because I would be nervous doing that.
And
terrified.
The knock-on effects of allowing people to go out of their comfort zone and do these things as well, instead of keeping them like pigeonholed in things, is so impactful for the business as well, because you will see her confidence and everything, and you feel that sense of like loyalty that we want to try and keep, the tension we want to keep, because you're saying, well, okay, we're going to give you some coaching, okay, we're going to let you go and do all these different experiences, like within reason obviously, but we are allowing you to grow as well, because we've seen how beneficial that is. And I think that is one thing we've definitely improved on over the last 2 or 3 years in the business, is like you have to pick the people in the business and then allow them to grow in their roles. That's really important, that focus on those people in the wider business. that's how you get good people.
Exactly. Two-way street. Okay, so can't believe I'm saying it, but 2026.
Oh my
26
God.
years since the millennium.
Oh my
I
god.
just don't. It just makes me feel so old. You can't
I know.
say things at this
It's
stage.
crazy. It's crazy. So, new year, come in. What are you so excited? What's your most excited to create or change next year? What are you looking forward to? I'll kick it off if you are.
Yeah, go on then.
Straight in there.
I got it. We've spoke so much about community the last 12 to 18 months, and I will happily say it and take it on the chin that we're talking about it, but we're not still offering that space for our listeners. And it is vital for me at the top of my list for next year to create that space for anybody that's listening now and that's been with us on our journey, because we had another 5-star review on Friday. We get them pretty much every other day now, and we get gorgeous emails and DMs, but we don't actually have this space where people can connect with other people that are on a fertility journey or heading into perimenopause or, you know, really struggling with adeno or whatever that may be. And so I personally really want to create that space for other people that's not, you know, directly a business sales tool. It is just a space for women. And so I'm really excited to watch that evolve. And then also we launch our Know Your Flow planner, which is our own planner.
Oh, I've been talking about this for so long.
Yeah, literally must be 2 years.
Yeah.
And I've just printed off 128 pages. Stationery people are going to be mad at me because it's ready for sort of final tweaks, and I'm really excited to be able to roll that out in the community. And I think we're going to be giving a few free as well with orders,
nice.
and just to help people understand their bodies a little bit more.
Love it. It is exciting. I suppose I'm quite excited on the commercial side. I suppose I'm really excited for community stuff as well. I've been banging that drum for a while. I think we need that space, but I think from a commercial perspective, I'm excited to see what's next for our product range. Like, that is always my favourite bit anyway. We've got a few nice things in the pipeline. We've got a few little relaunches and different focuses we're going to do next year, which is exciting, I think, to see. And I just think, like, bringing stuff to market that actually makes an impact on women is lovely to be a part of. And I think we have got so many right across the business on Una as well, that like we're working with one around UTIs and like such a huge problem for women, and to be able to try and make like a small difference in those spaces for me is like really fulfilling. So I can't wait to see like where that goes next. And I also just think the growth is exciting. Like next year is Steph will tell you, like, I'm always like more.
It's always more, guys. Please shop with us, sign up to that subscription.
I think probably for me it knits together what you've both just said. Obviously we're planning maybe a larger scale event in October, and for me I'm really, really passionate about it because I think it brings together everything that we do as a business and everything we care about, and we've got a really great partner to do it with that have a lot of similarities to us.
Very similar.
And I think, from getting children into STEM careers, women in diagnostics to become charity, there's so many synergies and so many people that are in the Stoke-on-Trent area that are working towards these directives, which never get heard about because they're not in London, they're not in Manchester.
We're going to be hopefully working with Port Vale as well, and that's really exciting for me because I'm like obviously like football. So this is like really, I'm going, by the way. I think absolutely what you're saying, like the piecing it all together, and I think that's where you're going to be really influential as well, Steph. It's just like piecing the whole bigger brand together that includes them, but is also like wider on the Una Health side.
Exactly.
Piecing it all together and telling people the story of what we're trying to do. It's like the next step in our evolution to take that kind of bigger brand step forward, and like, who are we?
I think if anyone listening to the podcast or that follows the femme brand, I think they would be really astounded to realise the wider scope of what we actually touch as an entire business. Like our connections with Bivda, just some of the events we've done and the conferences we went to at IBMS, and we did the Women in Diagnostics talk. There's just so much there's so many similarities to what we're doing, and I just think we really need to talk about it more and shout about it. I am actually really proud of it.
Femme is a little microcosm of what Una does on a wider scale, but with Una we've always been really shy about speaking about like us. We don't want to raise our head above the parapet. So we've just sort of sailed along and been fine, but I think the time is sort of coming for us to be a bit more like, actually, here we are in Stoke-on-Trent. That's a bee in our bonnet as well, like put more businesses in Stoke-on-Trent, but also just like talking about what we've done. We're a British business, we're women-led, we're in Stoke-on-Trent, we've got all these amazing stories, and also we are a business that gives back. And that's a big thing that I think people want to see more. And there's a lot of talk about bad business, and I think business does not have to be bad, it just has to be run in the right way, and it has to do all the things in the right way, and then it has to try and obviously run the business properly, but then try and contribute to the wider community, which we do massively.
There is definitely space for all of that, and it's like, smaller businesses, we go into business to make money. Let's be honest, like that's the fact of the matter, but that money isn't just going to one person. That's the development of the team that we spoke about.
Every person we employ in Stoke-on-Trent is a person we're impacting.
How many people come into this facility that we've got now here and complement the way it feels and the way it looks? Now, we didn't get interior designers, we built this together.
The answer to all of these things is just do it yourself.
We've discussed that before.
Ask it a question and then do it yourself.
Yeah, and I think, it's really key to note that we are still learning, we're still pivoting, we are still feeling the rafts of the waves that any small business does, because we are only into year 2. That's normal,
Totally normal. People think that it's going to be, once you get up and running, then it's all sorted. No. We're 16 years on at Una, and it is still like that. So that's a big message to people. It's always going to feel like that. You have to get used to it
all the time. And I think, I've been from a week off, you were off the week before, so me and you this morning have not stopped talking about what we've reflected on and what we've improved. And again, important conversations to even have within our organisation, because how many people have the visibility to know that that's always at the forefront of our mind? Like, how do we keep everybody engaged, motivated, happy? And you've really accomplished that with your team on Femme, and the output for the amount of people that you've got is phenomenal, and I think that's something we actually do really well as a business as a whole, is we really try and utilise the skill set and the people we've got to push forward. So I'm really excited to see all of that realised next year.
Really excited. Well, guys, thank you so much for listening today. I know this is not our normal episode around women's health, but we've always been really keen to bring you along the journey of how Femme has evolved and what that takes and what that looks like, the good, bad and the ugly. We will be back in July next year for season 4, and I'm sure that there'll be lots more things to discuss of how that next year progresses, and really exciting. So thank you all for listening, and thank you so much for all your support and your dedication and orders with Femme. It really means a lot to us. Thank you so much.